Well, who would have thought this, Williams? We're going into November, and only one team in this state is averaging more than 30 points per game. And it's not the Rocco Becht-led Iowa State Cyclones.
Certainly not them. No.
The Iowa Hawkeyes.
How's you and I doing?
The Iowa Hawkeyes are averaging 31 points per game. Iowa State averaging 29 points per game. Insane. Insane.
Do I have to comment? Or can we just move on to the next topic?
You want to just start the show?
No, I don't give a shit.
Let's start the fucking show.
Start the show.
We know that carrying your groceries out to your car seems a bit old school. That saying hello and asking about your day feels like a thing of the past. Being best at fresh, it's not just a fad. Serving high-quality meat at affordable prices? Talk about a throwback. But at Fairway, that's kind of our thing. Because some things never go out of style. Friendly at Fairway. It's more than just a name.
Disney on Ice presents Frozen and Encanto. Celebrate the power of love. IFA Media. Coming to Casey's Center November 27th through 30th. Tickets on sale now. Visit DisneyOnIce.com today.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
I need to silence my phone.
Do I need lip gloss?
I'm Mackenzie Edie. That is Scott Sipgert, and this is Overthinking.
Tune in every Tuesday at noon to hear us overthink life, pop culture, nonsense. We do it all.
We want you to join in on the conversation.
See you next Tuesday.
Chris Williams, Chris Hassel, two Chris's, one network. This is Two Guys. Presented by Fairway Meat and Grocery. From the Channel Seed Studios, this is Two Guys. Exclusively on Iowa Everywhere.
What up? What do you got something to say?
If I might add on to our open.
You notice in the Open, too, you guys are, like, standing on a cliff up there with our logo.
Yeah, what is that?
Like, Williams is about to jump off, I think.
I am about to jump off a goddamn cliff. You're right.
Okay, Iowa is averaging more points than Iowa State.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go again.
Yet, in total offense, Iowa State is one of the lowest in the country. 317 a game. Iowa State averages 417 yards per game. 100 yards more.
When Iowa State had that 65-yard run in the third quarter.
Oh, I know. I thought same thing. Oh, they're not going to score a touchdown now.
Yeah, I was like, oh, shit, there you go.
How about red zone offense?
Iowa State has to be one of the worst in history.
Iowa is 13th in the nation in red zone offense. They've scored 23 touchdowns on 34 attempts. Iowa State, 119th.
Yeah.
They have not scored 10 times. But 24 touchdowns in 41 attempts.
It's so bad, man.
They can't finish things off.
It's so bad. Yeah, that's a bad feeling for your team when you have a great play, a 65-yard run, and you're like disappointed at the end of it because you know you're screwed. Welcome to the show. It is the 27th of October, 2025. Chris and Chris, we are presented as always by Fairway Meat and Grocery. We are having our Fairway Festival of Meats coming up on Saturday. I'll send you guys pictures and stuff. You know,
so are you going to do that before the game?
I don't know.
After the
Cooper
game?
and I are working on how we're going to do it. I think we may do a little bit of both.
Because that'll be early to eat a bunch of meat.
Well, I think it gives us an excuse to get there early on Friday, and because we got to start preparing the meat.
Okay.
We have two rules: no sides, and if it didn't have a mother, we don't eat it. That's how it goes with the Fairway Meats Festival, which is coming up on Saturday. We are, as always, in the Channel Seed Studios.
What is that? You have like a chili pepper hanging from that vest? What is that thing?
It's a little zipper thing. I don't know.
My baby back.
The worst football weekend of my life. I'll do more in Triple B. From high school to professional. Every single team that I cheer for and actually have like an emotional attachment to lost. And many of them, honestly, other than the Vikings, and they just suck, but the rest of them were like in painful fashion. The high school game I was at on Friday night was one of the most horrific meltdowns that I've ever experienced in my life. Like gut-wrenching, want to throw up style. And then I had to watch the Iowa State game. Golish blows a big lead, probably keeps him out of the playoff. Cox are rock hard against Bama early on, and then blow that one. A truly, truly horrific weekend. How are you today?
I mean, I'm feeling good, man. You know what I did last night?
What did you do last night? Did you go to the Outback?
I went on to the M-Red generator.
Oh, yeah.
And put in scenarios for Iowa making the Big Ten championship game. That's what I did.
So what do you got? What do y'all got to do?
Well, went out 8-1, and then
it's a big ask.
Sure, absolutely. And honestly, I don't even know if I want Iowa playing in the Big Ten championship game if they do that, because if you went out and don't make it, you're going to be in the playoff.
Yeah, then you can get eliminated if you go there and look bad.
But so you got Ohio State and Indiana, who could both win out and go 9-0 in the Big Ten. But they start losing games, even a game. Like, I found a scenario. This is crazy. Like, Iowa lost straight up to Indiana. Okay? There's a scenario where Iowa, Indiana, and Ohio State all tie at 8-1, and Indiana gets left out of the Big Ten championship game. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just having the time of my life, is what I'm saying. Usually I'm using that stupid generator to look up Big 12 tie-breaking scenarios, and now it's Iowa.
It's not a stupid generator. It's a very handy tool.
Well,
Indiana's schedule is so easy on the way out, so it's
they've got to go to Penn State.
Penn State, yeah.
That's not going to be easy.
Penn State's 1-4.
They're 0-4.
0-4.
Penn State is still 21st in the ESPN FPI. Okay?
Come on. What are we doing, ESPN?
I'm just telling you.
I know you're just telling me, but I'm saying, what are we doing, ESPN?
It's a fun time to be an Iowa Hawkeye fan right now.
You should enjoy it.
And I love that there's a bye. Like 2 full weeks to ramp up to
gloating.
This incredible game against Oregon.
Yeah, the cool uniforms on Saturday.
I don't know that we're going to find out what time that game is today. I have a feeling that's going to be a 6-day hold window. And it's going to be between Fox and CBS next week for whether the game's at 11 or 2:30. I think they might put that on the hold. So I'm not sure we're going to know today. I hope we do, but I'm not confident that we will. And I do think there's a good chance Big Noon goes. But if somehow Indiana and Penn State win this week, Penn State's not going to. They're a 20-point dog against Ohio State.
They're not winning.
But if that were to happen, Big Noon could choose Penn State.
What does
Indiana.
Penn State have to do for people to think that they suck? Like 0-5 start.
Well, I think that most people do think they suck.
Yeah, I know, but like not really. Like there's still like
do.
this perception out there.
I think most people think that they suck, and they don't. They don't suck.
No, I'm saying, like, what do they have to get to 0-7 for people to be like, yeah, they're just not very good?
Well, we'll see. They've got Ohio State and Indiana coming up, okay? We'll see. If they play like they did against Iowa.
So if they're 0-7, will people finally be like, they're just not very good? Like, what do they have to do?
Dude,
I'm saying.
Everybody's saying they're not very good, except I feel like me and the people that watch the Iowa game.
The Penn State thing's funny to me.
My bigger thing is what is going on with these AP voters?
They don't watch the games, dude.
Clearly.
I've been telling you, they don't watch the games. That's the problem with the whole process.
Well, that's exactly what Josh Pate said last night on
they
the
don't
Josh
watch
Pate
the
College
games.
Football Show. Take a listen to Josh Pate, who's usually, I give him a lot of credit because he's usually a Cyclone homer. He's a big Cyclone fan. And sometimes that eats into his objectivity on Iowa, but not this time.
Did you see what Iowa did to Minnesota with the Floyd on the line? Floyd of Rosedale on the line? A splattering with the Floyd of Rosedale on the line. And that's not good enough to rank Iowa. You know why? They didn't watch. The voters didn't watch the game. How are they going to rank you if they didn't watch the game?
Yeah, he's exactly right. Iowa's problem when it comes to these polls, this is an objective take. This is not subject. I know how these pollsters work, is they will just look at Iowa. They're not like all the other games going on. That's not the game that they are tuning into.
Well, especially a blowout like that, too.
They're not watching it. And on paper, is that Iowa's best win? So what I'm saying is...
On paper, yeah.
Yeah, on paper, the pollster in like California or wherever these people are, they're just looking at it, Iowa's best win is against Minnesota. We're not going to bump them up. They have 2 losses.
You look at Iowa on paper, and I can understand why you wouldn't rank them.
Yeah, that's all
if you just look at what they've done on paper. But if you watch the games that Iowa has played in the month of October, I mean, go and this starts with the Indiana game. Go back to that. And even the comeback in the second half against Rutgers.
Played really well against Indiana, just couldn't close it out without Gronowski.
I don't know if there's more than a handful of teams Iowa wouldn't have beaten that day against Indiana. Mark Gronowski gets hurt, they don't win the game. But that is a check in the right direction for Iowa on a resume, is the way they played Indiana. And then since then, just blowing out 2 rivals, Wisconsin and this past weekend against Minnesota, and sandwiched in between that, the comeback win against a Penn State team that is not your average 0-4 Big Ten team, okay? Iowa on paper might not be a ranked team, but on the field, this is a top 20 team. The good news is, before that Oregon game, we're not going to be going off of the AP rankings anymore. The first college football playoff rankings come out next Tuesday. So
you won't have a loss by then. Like it'll be this Iowa resume, and we'll see where they put them.
And that's the ranking that they're going to go by. That's the ranking that they're going to show on the screen. And the only ranking that matters is next Tuesday.
Do you trust them?
I trust them more than AP voters on something like that, because I do think that they also will value the Big Ten more than,
you're getting that.
The American or the Big 12. I think Iowa will be ranked in the CFP rankings.
I completely
before that
agree.
Oregon game.
I don't think they're going to be I doubt they would be top 20. Do you think that they would get that high?
I don't know that they would rank them that high, but in my opinion, Iowa is absolutely playing like a top 20 team.
I actually, and now that we talk about it out loud, I'm not sure it really even matters. You just need to get up there, and then, it's simply, if Iowa takes care of business, they will get to where you want to be. If they don't, they won't. Because if they would beat Oregon, in that game where I need to do a little look ahead line on that. I haven't done that yet. If they would do that, it would just take care of it. It doesn't matter where they have them ranked.
I'll push back on that a little bit. If they're not ranked and they beat Oregon, and then USC loses to Nebraska this week, and then they're not ranked, and I could see them having it hard. Because in the end, if you're 10-2 and you're looking for an at-large, the ranking is all that matters. So I do think it's important that Iowa is ranked in these first ones if they really have a shot, and I think they do, at making the college football playoff.
All right, we're getting into that territory where now if the playoff doesn't happen, it's a disappointment.
No.
We're setting that up, Chris. That's
No.
what it sounds like. No,
it's just the fact that it's out there.
Yeah, no, it's fun for it to be out there. My point is the ranking doesn't matter if you're just trying to get into the playoff. And let's say they have Iowa 25th as opposed to 19th.
Well, let's say they're not ranked.
Okay, whatever. So they're not ranked. If Iowa would
you got
win
a long
out,
way to go to get into the top.
If
12,
Iowa would
top
win
10.
out with wins at USC, at Nebraska, and against Oregon, they'll be in the playoff.
You would think
they would be. They're in the Big Ten.
If what they've seen so far isn't good enough to rank them at this point, then I do start to worry.
I disagree with that. The caliber of team you're about to play on paper and on the field is so much higher.
I can see something happening where, let's say, Oregon's quarterback gets knocked out again, like it did against Wisconsin. Well, you beat a backup quarterback. And, USC is not even ranked. Nebraska's a 7-win team.
Who does USC play before Iowa? Will they
USC
still be?
plays at Nebraska this week.
Oh, yeah. So, but they're an underdog. They're favored in that game.
Yeah, they are. But Iowa plays both of those teams. One of them's going to take a loss there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it is actually important. AP poll is not important, but it is actually important for Iowa to be ranked in that first college football playoff ranking, and I would be stunned if they're not.
I would tend to agree with you. Well, you got Floyd back. Congratulations. Well,
that was never in question.
Yeah. That was just a total ass kicking, man. It was actually kind of boring. It started off very exciting. Both games were kicking off at the same time. Mm-hmm. A lot going on, and then all of a sudden it became very evident that one of the games was never going to be much of a game, and then
it looked like neither one of them was going to be much of a game.
Yeah, we'll get to how Iowa State finished, but I'm happy for you. You do the thing about the Iowa thing that's been so interesting to follow over these years is you've had good records and stuff, but there was never any true belief that you could beat a good team.
Yes,
and I think that's completely gone. If you watched Oregon play Wisconsin and you watched Iowa play Wisconsin, it was completely different types. Oregon struggled in that game. They dominated it. There was never really any question they were going to win, but it wasn't it wasn't the emasculation that Iowa pulled on that Wisconsin team.
Iowa played Indiana a lot better than Oregon played Indiana.
So I think anybody who's objective, this doesn't feel. We've had so many of those Iowa games, when they went to Ohio State a few years ago, when they played in some of those Big Ten that Big Ten championship game against Michigan, where you just you felt like even at your best they can't win. There's just no way, and you're kind of hoping that it's just even respectable just for the sake of the program, and those days are long gone.
It's totally different now, and Iowa fans feel it, and you're close enough to it that you know it, but I don't know nationally. How many people do?
They're not watching the games, Chris.
They'll
watch this one. This is good for you. They will watch this Oregon game.
I went on CBS Sports HQ before the game to preview it, and I had Danny Cannell on set and a couple other former players, and they're asking about Mark Gronowski and not throwing touchdowns and all that stuff. I feel nationally that most people still feel like this is the same old Iowa offense. They've got great defense, great special teams, and they do. And the offense is like it was for the last however many years. That's just not the case.
You know what you should do? Have you looked up the first down stat?
What first down stat?
Just offensive first downs per game. This Iowa team compared to those ones that they're I would wonder. I haven't looked up the stat. I could be wrong. But they just move the sticks. That's the thing. Those other Iowa teams, it's they would just go 3 and out every time, and then they would put the defense right back there. This is much more complimentary. Even if they're not blowing up the offensive stats, they are still contributing to the game.
Well, this goes back to what we've been saying on this show for many, many years, where you were sitting there as the 129th best offense. Give me the 99th best, right? In scoring, they're now up to 52 or so. They're not blowing anybody away in yards. I mean, we talked about that at the start of the show. I mean, they're still way down in 121st in yards per game, 318. But when you're getting short fields because of your defense and your special teams, you're getting all that hidden yardage, and you're good in the red zone, it adds up to an offense that's significantly better than the offenses from 23, 22, and even the latter part of 21. It's not close, and people don't, I don't think at the national level, realize that. The offensive line is much better, so they're running it better, and you have a competent quarterback who has shown that he can. He did it against Indiana. He did it against Minnesota. He can make some throws.
That's our homework. Let's look at first downs per game and third down conversion rate. And that could be what you throw back at these guys. I would guess that is a vastly different number. But I don't know if it'll still win these people over that aren't watching the games, though. It probably.
I want to push back on something I heard on the broadcast from, I think it was Gary Danielson, who's a GOAT, who's great, and I love that he called that game. But this notion that you just had to let Ferentz be, and it was all going to work out, because he mentioned, a few years ago, all these fans were upset because Iowa wasn't scoring. They wanted to make a change, or they didn't, and look now. No. This is all because of Beth Getz making that huge move after the Minnesota game 2 years ago.
Yeah.
In saying enough is enough. Brian Ferentz is gone. You have to get rid of him. If you're not going to do it, we're doing it. He's done at the end of the season. And what did that lead to? Tim Lester coming in and completely changing the offense. If Iowa fans and Beth Getz didn't push back on that, Iowa would be in the exact same position. Who the hell would be the quarterback right now? It would not be Mark Gronowski, I promise you that. And this offense wouldn't be as good as it is, relatively speaking. And Iowa would not be able to compete in games against Indiana or even against Penn State a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, they're not beating Penn State 2 weeks ago, even at 0-3.
So that's what changed things. That's what changed everything, is Beth Getz making that move, doing something that Gary Barta never would have done.
Let's give a shout out to our friends over at Freedom Tire, where right now, throughout the month of October, so you still got a few days left, you can get a $100 instant rebate on a set of 4 Goodyear or Cooper tires. This is a great deal. Or a $50 instant rebate on Kelly tires. Altoona, Ames, Des Moines, West Des Moines, Urbandale, freedomtire.com. Appreciate them for supporting Chris and Chris here on Iowa Everywhere. Same with the Kaburski brothers. And it is starting to get cold. It's starting to get cold. I bet you have 1 week left for their aeration services, and then we're gonna shut it down.
I'm putting my lawn to bed. Did the final mow this last weekend.
I haven't done my final mow yet. I'm holding out. I'm gonna mow that son of a gun really low and just go Undertaker on it.
I just got confirmation from the Kaburski brothers. They're going to do some landscaping for me in the spring. We're going to get that ready.
They did my whole backyard. They did a great job.
Yeah, we bought this house brand new and didn't have any landscaping, so we got to get on it.
Kaburski brothers. Let's get into the Iowa State game after we do Triple B. That can kind of lead us into Triple B. Is that cool? Because
sure.
I feel like my Triple B is just going to bring us right into that.
Sure.
Let's go. Kelderman Manufacturing.
Bigger, better, bolder. Built by Kelderman Manufacturing.
I'll let you start, Hassel.
Yeah, because you'll want to go last, right?
Yeah.
Your Iowa State thing is going to kind of lead us in. How about the Houston Cougars?
Oh, this is cool.
You're ranked now. You come up with this huge victory against Arizona State, and you find out after the game that they were playing with extremely heavy hearts. Earlier on in that day, their strength coach succumbed to a battle with cancer that he and his family said took to 3 overtimes. I mean, he lived a lot longer and fought that thing a lot harder than a lot of people would. Kurt Hester is his name. He had spoken with the team earlier on in the week and he knew that was the last time that he was going to be able to talk to the team. They learned that he passed away that morning, and then they went out there and they beat Arizona State and got into the top 25. Just a great testament to him and that team that they were able to do that and be that strong in that game to win it in a really hostile environment.
Yeah, and that's a great sentiment. And then just Houston in general, man, they're really good. You know, they got the kid in from Texas A&M at quarterback. They play real defense. Fritz is one of the best coaches in the country. I've been saying it for a long time. That's been a hell of a turnaround for them. And Houston, in the past, like when they were good, it was kind of like the paper tiger, kind of gimmicky offense type thing. Like, this is a real team. I wouldn't want anything to do with them. I think that they're an absolute bona fide contender to win the Big 12. Matt, what do you got for us today?
Oh man, I'm hurting. I'm with you, Williams. I'm in the same boat. Like my team's, man, the 49ers yesterday getting crushed by the former Cyclones.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing, man. Like when your team gets beat by the guys you used to cheer for, like Jaden Higgins scored a touchdown.
Hutchinson both got in the end zone, right? How about those Houston uniforms? Can we comment on those? Those things are sick.
No, they're not.
I like them.
They're terrible.
Oh, the blue and the red look nice together.
Oh,
give me a break. All black with it's because you guys like those stupid all black uniforms. I didn't even like Iowa's all black uniforms. I don't.
I love those Houston uniforms. Those are awesome. So Matt, where are you going with your triple B? You're just moping right now.
Yeah, I mean that the Iowa State game, and then but you know what was cool to see? BYU fans were really nice. Walking into the stadium on Saturday, there were so many people in blue in BYU. They had this like huge alumni tailgate at the Ryman Gardens. They were doing a big shoe drive for kids. It was really cool. I mean, there's no other fan base like this. I
think people forget how large that fan base is.
Yeah.
I mean, Notre Dame would be the only comp.
Yeah,
because
like
of the Catholic thing. But
we met people. I was like just introducing myself. People were taking pictures. Oh, let me take a picture for you. They're from like Florida, Kansas City. They were getting regional people from all over.
They're a huge fan base.
Yeah, and when this game sold out, you're like, what the heck? Why did this game sell out so early? Well, you knew why because you looked up in the stands. There were like entire sections of blue.
Yeah,
there was
they're
probably
nice
5,000. Yeah,
I'm really glad they're in the Big 12, and they deserve to be in a power conference. It's actually crazy to me that it took them so long. Like with that fan base and the money that they have, they absolutely belong.
They deserve to have an undefeated team. I'll just say that.
So I'm giving my triple B to all of my enemies out there. I had
Tupac.
So again, the Vikings game on Thursday night. So my weekend starts with that. And I love my Clarinda Cardinals. There's no bigger fan than me. Hassel was annoyed with me because I kept texting him updates on Friday night. One of the most painful losses of my entire existence.
What happened in that game?
Oh, man, our boys.
So Clarinda was up like 21-0 at halftime.
Shout out to the young men at Pella Christian. They had a hell of a comeback. Yeah, Clarinda
This was a playoff game?
Yeah. Clarinda was up 21-0 at half. We blew a 17-point lead in the last 17 minutes of the game. Pella Christian just came to life and stunned our boys. And it's so hard when you know them all and like they're just kids. But no, this Pella Christian. Anyways, so then Golish blows the lead. South Florida loses at Memphis. South Carolina looks early like they're going to pull the upset over Bama. The Iowa State game went exactly like you all watched it go. It was truly, from the high school level up, the worst football weekend of my entire life. So all of my enemies, congratulations. You've won the triple B. You've got me beaten down. But congratulations, hey, I'm at rock bottom.
You got to spend a lot of time with family. I saw your dad was out enjoying family at the, I don't know what that was, the Cracker Barrel restaurant or whatever.
Posted the Hickory Park.
Hickory Park. Posted a nice picture on Facebook.
Are you going to tell the rest of the story?
What?
About your dad's trolling my dad. My dad has a heartfelt post. Oh, God. What a crew for lunch, and then Iowa State football. Great young people to hang with. We lost the game, but we made a lot of great memories today. Very sweet. My nieces and nephew brought friends. and my mom and dad drove a group of 5 young Clarinda High School students up for the game to enjoy the pageantry of college football. And then the first comment comes.
Donnie Hassel. You must feel terrible this morning. Season done the drain. Season done the drain. No punctuation. You must feel terrible this morning. Season done the drain. Hawks playoff bound. Exclamation point. Just relentless. Who started this, by the way? I think it was your dad that started it.
Well, my dad always does the Hawkeye.
That's what it was.
Dragging,
the dragon ass.
The dragging of the ass.
Haven't seen that in a while.
This is why my wife will never accept the friend request. Stuff like this.
I would love to see my dad talk shit to your wife.
I mean, that is, and I love Don. Gotten to be, he's my guy. That is kind of an unhinged comment to make on. He's never met my dad. Like,
I saw your dad responded.
Oh, did he? I'm sure it was.
Yeah, he responded. Being a Cyclone on a bad day is better than being Hawk when they are beating winless B10 teams and thinking you are playoff bound. Are you kidding? Losing 0-11 against ranked teams isn't that impressive. I am not sure the B10 is that good this year. Indiana and Ohio State, that's about it. And my dad just responded.
It's decent analysis. I mean,
don't be bitter. Oh, what a rivalry between those two.
Well, and if you know my dad, it was very genuine. There's nothing my dad loves more than like supporting the Clarinda athletics. He drove the buses for years, like to all these. So he meant it, and then Don just comes in and just takes a dump all over his Hickory Park. I guarantee my dad was pissed when he made that response too, because he hates the Big Ten. Like he thinks you guys are just all a bunch of frauds. Let's talk about the Iowa State game as much as we can, as much as I mean, there's a lot to talk about. I want to start. There's so much to break down here as to why they've lost 3 in a row. Can we all comment too that Colorado is one of the worst Power 4 teams in the country? Maybe they're horrible. So that loss looks awful.
What a just cherry on top of a shit Sunday that was at the end of the night.
Yeah,
with Colorado, I mean, they looked like the worst team in the country against Utah.
They're one. I think that they suck. That's why I was so dejected after that game. The Cincinnati game, you felt like you lost to a good team, and they've kind of proven that over the weeks. Colorado sucks. They're not good at any aspect of the game. And the Dion thing's weird. It's like you have all that flash and all that. Eventually, you got to have some substance with it, or people are going to get really tired of it. And I'm not saying he's going to get fired, but will he even stay? That's a whole other conversation. We're talking about Iowa State here. Despite everything, despite the injuries, despite everything, what's maddening to me about Iowa State's skid here is if Rocco Becht is just average in the last 2 games, you're 7-1. And he's your guy, right? Like, that's your highest paid player, I would presume. He's your it really has gone downhill ever since I came on here and went long and said he was a pro.
You've been a kiss of death to you were a kiss of death to Texas Tech too.
Yep. So fade me when it comes to those types of big statements. But I thought, Chris, the interception in the second quarter is what changed the game. Like, if Iowa State goes in, they're averaging like 8 yards per rush at that point in the game. Like, they had the game completely under control. The defense was playing great. The inexplicable interception that I believe was on him, it looked like a route was broken off. I don't think so. I think that was on the quarterback alone. And he is just a shell of the player that he was a month ago. And it's really sad because I really like Rocco. I still think that he's got it in him. But right now, he's just completely in his head. That's the biggest analysis that I have, because despite everything else, if your best player is just average, you're probably still sitting at 7-1.
more interceptions in that game than he had during the 5-0 start. Threw 3 picks in that game. And that one was just incomprehensible, especially with that lead and the way that was going. And it did change everything. I had a really weird viewing experience because I'm trying to watch all of the Iowa game and get bits and pieces of the Iowa State game. And it was going like as well as it possibly could have gone early on for Iowa State. I mean, they had it all going. You jump all over them on the first play of the game. The place is rocking. I mean, it was loud. Conradi's making field goals. You get a sack. Like you finally get to the quarterback. Bramers makes this incredible one-handed grab, and you're on your way to the red zone. You're all the way back. Like you might have lost those 2 games, but you are all the way back. Place is going crazy. You're running the number 11 team in the country out of the building, and it's all out there. And then, I mean, you just get hit by a Mack truck with that interception, and then you allow one of many 3rd and longs. I felt like they allowed to BYU on that drive.
The stuff that drives me nuts, and I know that it's what Campbell's talking about, and I understand why fans get annoyed with like the margins and all that stuff. But like, God, letting the punt hit you, like you just get this massive stop. If you go down and score, then it completely changes everything, and then you just give them the ball at the 30. Like that, it's so much stupid crap that they just keep shooting themselves in the foot.
I watched that maybe 10 times on a loop and just try to watch everybody around that ball. And I think Flora probably said, get away, Peter, all that at first. But the ball is still sitting there rolling, and you still have people engaged. And there were other players around that ball that were looking at him. How are you not screaming at your teammates? Like, get out of it! Get away! Get away! What are you doing? You're just watching him, or you're saying it? You're mumbling it. Like that is a critical moment, and you've got a guy that's engaged in a block and has no idea where that ball is. That is not. I don't think that was on him. That was on all the teammates around him that could have helped him avoid that catastrophe.
That's a smart take. Yeah, there's way more to that particular play than just the guy not getting out of the way. He's if anything, you should almost give him credit because he's playing so damn hard. Like he's trying to finish blocks but regardless, it's just bad football. It's bad football. We teach kids that in 7th grade when they're learning the game. It's bad football. And that's the problem. Like when you watch the Colorado game, the Cincinnati game, I do give them a little bit of a pass because that was their first half without those corners. The defense got a lot better as the game went on. The offense really wasn't that bad. They just couldn't finish. Whatever. Cincinnati's a good team. You lost to them on the road. The Colorado game and this BYU game, you lost because of like common sense football stuff.
Yeah.
And like I still don't watch Iowa State and think like, well, at least on offense, they have bad players. They have good players. And you see them move the ball up and down the damn field all game long. They just can't execute in key situations. So many, Rocco Becht overthrows Aiden Flora in the first quarter. It should have been a touchdown. You had to settle for 3. Flora dropped that in the fourth quarter. He just, it hit him right in the hands. He just has to walk into the end zone. It's just time and time again, they're just doing these things that it's like, you take 6 plays away and you may win the game by 17, but God, they're huge-ass plays.
Monster mistakes. And I think it was Jake Bren who asked Rocco after the game, is this attention to detail? And Rocco basically said, no, it's a lack of execution. But they are executing on 98% of the plays on offense. So why is it that when something goes wrong, it goes horribly wrong? Like, it's not just an incomplete pass or a run for a loss of 2. It is an absolute catastrophe. An interception. Is that attention to detail? Is that execution? What the hell is it? They don't know. That's the problem. Like, Rocco's like, I don't know.
It looked to me like, I think it's mental. Because when things were going well on Saturday, they were that offense that's clicking, that is just flying high. They could have put up 600 yards.
They had 500 yards of offense
and
only scored 27 points.
But once it went, I'm telling you, the key to the game being there, it flipped when Rocco threw that interception. It should have been a touchdown. Sowell went deep. Rocco must have had him on a curl. I'm almost certain the play call was a fly. I don't know for sure. I'm not in the
It was
huddle.
almost like Rocco didn't even see the BYU player there, or thought that
there wasn't an Iowa State player
Iowa
anywhere.
State jersey. Well, he was 5 yards down the field.
Yeah. But that play changed the game. If they go in and get that team without its running back who had just gotten hurt, down 17, because Haycock changed the way they played after that defensively. Like, Iowa State came out as aggressive of a defensive game plan as you'll ever see them have in the first quarter. And it paid off. They're getting sacks. They're crowding up 5 guys at the line of scrimmage. Brockmeyer is not comfortable at all. And you would have had them down 17 in a very one-dimensional situation, which is what Iowa State wants to do. And that interception changed everything. And I know Iowa State still scored after that, but it changed the vibe of the game. It gave that BYU team confidence. And I think Iowa State's offense goes back to the sideline and like, here we go again. Oh, no. And to BYU's credit, goddamn, that team always figures it out. How many games has BYU been like this in the last 2 years, even this year? Their last 3 games. It's like they're skating on the edge of danger, and they always figure it out. That tells me that Kalani Sitake is doing a really, really great job there. And keep an eye on this. I was thinking about this. If like Jed Fish goes to Florida or whatever, like Sitake would be a perfect coach for Washington to go and hire if he wanted to make a jump. Like, that guy's going to get a lot of attention because this coaching carousel is going to get nuts.
I'm with Jonathan, who comments that Rocco hasn't been the same since he took those hits against Arizona and Cincinnati. I was thinking about that, and I heard Ben Bruns talk about that on Cyclone Sunday. Like, he just hasn't been the same. I remember that Arizona game. Like, what the hell? Why he gets hit hard, and then they bring him back in the game for some reason. And then just that monstrous hit against Cincinnati, which I cannot believe he was able to come back so quickly in that game. That's when it all changed for him. I mean, you could argue it. He wasn't great in that Arizona game. Didn't need to be. Like, they had that thing. Mm-hmm. He didn't throw a touchdown pass, but I mean, since then.
But he had like 3 touchdown runs. He was still
right. But since that, you start with that Arizona game. He has 3 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, and he's been sacked 9 times.
Yeah, and to his credit, there's some good comments. The amount of drops is staggering. Too.
Well, it's like when one of them's on, the other one's off. It's like a bad golfer. You know, you're when you're putting well, you can't put the ball in the fairway. Mm-hmm. When you're driving it well, your approach shots are off and you're missing the green. That's how it's been for Iowa State. I feel like the majority of this season, but absolutely these last 3 to 4 games, because Rocco, start off hot, and drop a pass. Like, what? That Colorado game, 2 perfect passes to start that game, and they're both dropped. Mm-hmm. And that sets the tone for the entire game.
And then, again, like the bad football thing, what I mean by that is not necessarily even the plays. Like, I mean, dropping passes is bad football, don't get me wrong, but it's like the unsportsmanlike conduct after the touchdown against Colorado that, and I haven't mentioned it yet. because we haven't even talked about the defense and the special teams, but like the freaking kickoff team right now.
God,
I give them a little like grace because they don't have a kicker to put it in the end zone. That's the problem.
Yeah, what can you do?
Like, I don't know what you do, but you can't keep putting this very average defense and giving the opponent the ball at midfield. You just can't.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem on Saturday, it's like, well, I actually thought like the defense, in my opinion, played about as good as they could. I told you that last week. I was way more worried about them going into this one. You can't turn it over 4 times and not have a semblance of a kickoff team and keep putting that defense in that situation. They're going to come up short. Like, you're going to.
Mm-hmm.
But when you put them in a decent spot, they've actually been pretty good. So it's gotta complement one another. And that the kickoff thing is staggering that you have all those guys on that roster and not one of them can kick a damn ball into the end zone. You know, like, isn't it wild?
Yeah.
Like, I figured that 300-pound offensive lineman could at
even,
least kick it into the end zone.
Like, figure something out. Figure some kind of a pooch kicking system out. Like, can somebody come there and just pop a kick up? Pop it up to have it hang in the air, and somebody's going to fair catch it at the 23-yard line, right? You see that all the time when you're trying to keep it away from an opposing team, like a team that's maybe trying to keep it away from a Ouijan. Pop it up. You don't have to kick it into the end zone. Sky it in the air, and it's an up man that's going to catch it, and he's probably going to fair catch it. Why can't they do that?
Again, and this is where you know you have a problem. When I'm cringing on a 65-yard run and I'm not happy because I know that you're screwed at that point, I'm almost like hoping that they kick it out of bounds half the time right now. That's where my head's at with this kickoff team.
That's what Kevin just said it. Kick it out of bounds. 35 is better than what we've been getting.
Well, and because I say all this to be fair to the offense, right? It's not all on them. It's just we think that that's the best group. They are producing constantly. They just can't put it in the end zone, and if that switches, you're 7-1. And it's just really frustrating. This is as frustrating when Iowa State because I don't think that they have bad players all the way around. That's what sucks. Like, if I thought that they didn't have the dudes, it's kind of where I'm at on the defense right now. I don't think they're bad. I don't. When you lost those corners, it just changed everything, and it's just like I think their best can probably be like a 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10 right now. I do. That's where I think their defense is. Their offense has enough guys. They got good enough guys to be an 8 consistently, and they're not. They're more like a 3 when it comes to putting points on the board, and it's really, really
they move the ball like a team that should average 38, 39 points per game, and they're only averaging 29 points per game. I mean, you see the offensive line grades here.
Number
Iowa
1
State.
in the country this week.
And to your point on if you go up 17 points, you start just pounding the ball on the ground and making the clock a factor early on in that second half, and BYU wasn't able to run the ball, then maybe you get to pin your ears back and you know it's passing situation for them and everything changes. You're right. I think that this is a tough learning lesson for Iowa State fans here. This is what happens when the standard is raised, because you can have a season like this where you feel like it's over and you still have a chance to win 8 or 9 games.
Mm-hmm.
But your standard is higher now because of Matt Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
He has raised it. That's one of the rallying cries. Raise the standard. He did it.
I got the poster in my office.
But the problem is now you can have a really, really disappointing season even after starting 5-0 and being ranked in the top 15 and still having some big games out there. Like, what is it going to be like for this noon kickoff against Arizona State?
Kickoff.
Honestly, I think that's better than if this was a night game. I think if this is a night game, there's going to be far more empty seats than,
especially against the opponent. Like you're putting. I would much rather have Arizona State playing it. It's 11 o'clock their time probably.
But what do you think the crowd's going to be like?
It'll be a good crowd. It won't be great. I think it'll be a really good crowd, though. I think most people have already bought tickets for this game.
I think that's a great time for a game.
Yeah, I think
especially
it'll be
this time of year when it's getting cooler. You don't want to be sitting out in the cold at night.
Honestly, too, I know you don't want to hear this, but like there's a lot of like the kids that are done with their soccer. The harvest is pretty much over. There's a lot of those like fringe people that probably didn't get to go last week that I think will go. I'm really not worried about the crowd. I think it's a good opponent. I know they're down. Like that's the thing. As bad as Iowa State feels about its team right now, it's not like Arizona State's flying high. And if their quarterback isn't
Leavitt's
playing,
banged up, I don't know. Like I don't know if he plays. He got knocked out of that game twice.
Well, and Jordan Tyson didn't play against Houston either.
Right.
So if those two guys are out, like if Iowa State's a 4-point favorite now, it's probably looking closer to a touchdown by the time that thing kicks. And I think it'll be a good crowd though, Chris. I'm not really overly concerned.
I think the day
that.
game helps. I really do. I would be concerned if this was a night game. And Beans in the Strainer says it's a 10 a.m. Arizona start.
Well, that's a huge win for Iowa State before the game is even kicked.
How about this, Williams? Kansas State is now ahead of Iowa State in the standings.
Yeah. Funny how that turns.
Can you believe that?
Good on Kleiman. They were on the deck, man.
Yeah.
And he got them flipped, and let's see if Matt Campbell can do it here. He's pretty good in these spots, but I mean, I thought last week was the perfect opportunity to jump up and do that. And again, eventually you are what you are, and Iowa State right now is an offense that certainly has all the sexiness, but then when it comes time to actually doing something, it's really, really, really struggled.
Oh, I just got a text from the crew that's going to be calling the game on TNT. You guys are going to love it, by the way. If you haven't experienced a Big 12 game on TNT, they do an incredible job. Like it is top notch. Pre-game show, post-game show, and the guys in the booth, JB Long and Mike Golick Jr. are going to do
Golick's coming back.
A hell of a job. Yeah, you'll have to get Golick into the – oh, man, he would crush those meats.
Tell Golick that Coop and I are having the Festival of Meats.
JB just sent me a text asking me for the best place to point Golick toward some meaty calories in the area. So I'll just say your camper.
Well, we can get those frat boys to drive him around like last time if he needs a ride. Unfortunately, the Estas Tacos are no longer. It got closed down.
Damn.
Yeah, tough break. Let's do my poll, my Big Grove poll for this weekend.
Where the hell's Iowa?
You didn't make the top 16, buddy. I'm sorry. I would have put you in the top 20, though. I really, really mean that. You know, can we talk about Texas A&M? Like, man, it is like some of these programs. This is where NIL has just been so good because it just spaces everything out just a little bit, right? It gives A&M a chance to really revive their program. I've got them at 3,
and they've got a coach with substance.
Oh, that guy! Like I was thinking about him. We could talk about this in Going Long too, but like, why would Elko leave there? Like everybody's whispering for him to like go to Penn State. Like, why?
Yeah.
What do you not have at Texas A&M that you can get anywhere else? Not a lot of changes to this poll, though. Ole Miss, what a great win for them at Oklahoma. So I've got them up. I've had Ole Miss in my top 10 all week. Again, we'll get to them and Going Long. But Vanderbilt, wow. Like Vanderbilt, like unbelievable. The team that I put Houston in my top 16 kind of as a nod to them because I think that they've done a hell of a job this year. So there you go. There's my Sweet 16, Super 16 poll, courtesy of our friends at Big Grove. Let's go long. I want to talk about the coaching carousel today.
It's time to go long with Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Be an idiot and wait until you're like 40 to start saving for retirement. There you go. How's that for a line? Don't be an idiot. Go to my friend Tim over at Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax. It's your one-stop shop. They simplify your finances. The my going long segment is I titled it "What Should Lane Kiffin Do?" because he is being thrown out for every job out there. But this is a bigger point in conversation for us, Chris. Open Power 4 jobs right now. This is insane. LSU, Penn State, Florida, Oklahoma State, Virginia Tech, Arkansas, Stanford, UCLA. That's not counting all the other jobs that are currently open. Really stood out to me this weekend. I just thought it was I couldn't believe it when Louisiana's governor basically called out Brian Kelly on Twitter in a tweet being like, what are we doing here? Brian, they're 5-3. It's not like he's been a colossal disaster at LSU, although he has underachieved. And I started to think about Kiffin at Ole Miss, watching that game back yesterday because I just wanted to see a little bit of how it went. Kiffin is at a place, in my opinion, where he can be Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
He can just be himself. They love him there. There's not a huge media thing going on. He has the freedom to be Lane Kiffin. And I was thinking to myself, like, and he makes a ton of money, right? Like they're going to pay him more to stay, guarantee all that stuff. Like in this era, does it even make sense for a guy like Lane Kiffin to go to LSU, which is perceived to be a better job? We saw Kurt Cignetti choose Indiana basically over Penn State last week.
And why would you not stay there? And Lane Kiffin's already tasted Tennessee and USC. Like, he knows that now.
Yeah. We're on the same page. We're on the exact same page with it. I hope he stays. And I just, again, especially with a personality like Lane's, this is why I always thought the Dion thing would probably work a little bit better in Boulder, Colorado than it would, somewhere with a big market where you have all these people who are just breathing down your neck constantly. Like, Kiffin just seems like a perfect fit right there. But this is going to get nuts now with LSU opening. And the thing about it that fans need to realize is the trickle-down effect when these jobs start popping. Like, this is going to be potentially one of the great coaching carousels of all time. The other point I would make is, because I've seen this, we saw it when Iowa was struggling early. I'm seeing it now where people are like, oh, well, we're maxing out NIL and the football team's lost 3 games in a row. What the hell? There's all these people now who think that they're like stakeholders in these football programs. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if I would love to talk to some administrators or whoever about this, if it actually is putting more pressure on these coaches. Like we talked about it, if Joey McGuire and Texas Tech would lose at Kansas State, who may be playing as good a football as anybody in the league right now. Kansas State is. Like they really figured it out. That was the pick to win the league by Las Vegas early. This is a brutal road trip for Texas Tech on Saturday. Mm-hmm. If they lose, he's probably going to get fired. I don't know if he will on the spot, but unless they can figure out a way to get back into the Big 12 championship game and get to the playoff, the NIL thing at that level where you're spending that level of money, buyouts be damned. These guys are under a shit ton of pressure right now. And Brian Kelly, I think that I read I think it was The Athletic that reported they had $18 million in that roster this year compared to like 6 the year before. So I don't know. I don't even know really where I'm going here, but I'm curious as to just the entire market in general. And again, if I'm Lane Kiffin, why in the hell do I want to go to a place where the governor's calling out the head coach on Twitter? What in the hell? Like that doesn't make your job look any better, bro.
No, you'd be willingly walking into a powder keg, and maybe you'd get more resources. You probably would. Like he probably has to fight for a lot more at Ole Miss, and do some more convincing to big time recruits or people in the transfer portal than he would if he was at LSU or maybe Florida or Penn State, whatever. But he can go out before a game and go to a yoga studio and tweet out a picture of himself shirtless with the yoga instructors and not have to worry about like his athletic director and donors being pissed off. Like they're always going to be really happy with him if he wins 10 games. Whereas you go to LSU, and if you don't win a national title in your first go around there 2, 3, 4 years, then all of a sudden you're done. And why risk that at this point? I mean, he feels like he's having the time of his life. And I also think now that teams are going to start spending even more money with these new coaches, because you're going to bring in a high-dollar coach with high expectations, and that coach is going to say, well, we need $50 million to win. And so then you're going to be going above and beyond. And then the pressure ramps up even more because, as you know, the more money a donor has put into the program, the more they feel like, well, if that guy doesn't get it done, then he's out. Like, because I gave my money to him. I paid these guys all this money. You're gone. And so it's going to keep happening. Faster and faster. This cycle is going to keep going. I don't know where it stops. Honestly, I don't, because they're still willing to pay these buyouts. They're still willing to pay these players all this money. Why? You're still not winning. Like, only a handful of teams can win.
I just wonder if, like, eventually these guys they're all just going to get burned out from it. Because most of these schools, there's not many that are like Texas where there's hundreds of.
Who's going to get burned out by it?
The boosters. It's just like you keep what I'm saying is most of these schools, you go back to the same well. It's
Right.
the same 10 people. Like when you need a big contribute, well, we really need to upgrade the locker room or whatever, right? You're hitting the same people. It's not people like us. It's not. And eventually, it's like they're not. Most people don't get that wealthy by being an idiot.
That's true.
Right? You know, like I understand there's
or
just
being
not a lot
willy-nilly with their spending.
Yeah, there's not a lot of Cody Campbells out there that just have unlimited funds that can keep pouring it into this thing.
But then what do? You go private equity. That's what the Big Ten is doing. That's why.
And then they're going to burn through that money because they're terrible with money and they don't know how to control their finances. So we're on the same page. I hope Lane stays at Ole Miss. Schools like Ole Miss are good for the sport.
Yeah, and I hope Clark Lee stays at Vanderbilt.
Absolutely. And I hope that, I like I said, I want Dan Lanning out in Oregon forever. I do not want him to leave and go to Georgia someday or whatever. No, we need all corners of the sport to be healthy.
This is the worst year ever to have a football opening. Like, I hate to say it because I don't think it's going to happen. But if Matt Campbell were to decide this is the time to leave, this is the worst possible time for Iowa State to have to look for their next head coach.
There's just too much uncertainty.
And slim pickings out there with all these other programs ahead of you.
Well, it's the other thing, too. Talk about this when we have more time, maybe on Wednesday. It's like I don't think that Iowa State losing 3 games really matters when it comes to Campbell's stock either. I think that people in the industry have decided how good of a coach he is, and it doesn't really matter if they're losing these games right now. Like if you're an athletic director at one of these schools, you're not going to be like, let's say Wisconsin would be open. You're not going to not hire Matt Campbell because they lost to BYU or Colorado. It's just, that's not going to be a thing.
But if you're Wisconsin, you might not make the move on because of where this is right now.
Completely agree. All right, want to thank a couple more of our great sponsors, Siouxland Scales. Appreciate these guys jumping on. Go to SiouxlandScale.com. I went and toured their warehouse in Des Moines a couple of weeks ago, and we're gonna keep telling you more about these guys. We're building out a segment with them where what's weighing me down. It'll be fun. We're gonna have a really good time with them. Thanks to Nick and his team for jumping on, and then of course the Iowa Wild as well. Maddie, the boys are hopping in the Casey Center right now.
Yeah, hockey season, baby. So it's a Hockey Ween on November 1st. Hockey Ween.
Oh, I get it. I see what you're doing there.
Halloween weekend. They're hosting the Tucson Roadrunners, 6 p.m. at the Casey Center. First 1,500 fans in the building are going to take home a packable trick or treat.
I like
bag.
the Wilder 1.5 puck line favorite on that. Tucson's got to travel a time zone. They don't like the cold. Give me the Wild to win that one. That's a lock.
Where your costumes are going to be doing like trick or treating through the concourse, 2-for-1, Confluence beers. So a lot of good stuff happening down at the Casey Centers with our friend at the Iowa Wild.
Hey, how did we do on our locks this week? Did you compile it for us?
I did. You really want to see?
I honestly don't know. I haven't kept track.
Williams went 1-2.
Oh no! Finally, a losing week for Williams.
I screwed up too. I picked the wrong Big 12 game to put in there. I should have.
You would have won your NFL game if you would have stuck with the Ravens.
I would have. Don Hassel got in my head. Completely talked me out of my original.
I told
pick.
you not to listen to him on that.
Hassel went 2-2.
Good pick.
Very
on
tight
Memphis.
win with the Northwestern. Got the half point there, but
it's about time I get a tight. Everything's been a tight loss.
You had tough reads there though, because I think you read the Iowa State game right based on how we see that thing start, and then
I was feeling real confident.
Bama was so much better than South Carolina too. That game is God.
And I missed the Arkansas Auburn by a half point, which.
You missed Iowa, Minnesota by about 30 points.
Yeah. Well, you missed the Iowa State game by about 32.
All right. Well, we're going to get back on the horse next week, gentlemen. Or actually in 2 days.
Yeah.
2 days, baby. All right. Well, appreciate you. Keep enjoying yourself, Hassel.
Williams, what was the deal with that screenshot of your post-game show where it looked like you had been entered by a ghost? And possessed.
I was penetrated.
You were being penetrated at the time by a ghost?
Yeah. I think Matt might have the picture.
You were like, you look like the Undertaker when he.
So what happens is when you don't have a custom thumbnail for YouTube.
Look at you.
Why would YouTube make this the thumbnail? Matt, you know more about it than why would YouTube pick
Usually YouTube picks a thumbnail where you're smiling. It's funny. They'll like see when you're all smiling on camera or laughing. I don't know what they thought was going on here. Maybe it was spooky season. They thought, let's just.
I had a couple of beers and I was penetrated by the spirit.
I can't wait to ghost hunt soon.
Oh yeah, what's the ghost hunt situation?
It's gonna happen. It's just not this week, but it is happening in the next couple weeks. We're getting it all ironed out.
Okay.
Kenzo's going to join me on the CW pod this week, though, and we're going to talk conspiracy theories and spooky stories for Halloween.
Really?
Yeah. You got any conspiracy theories you want us to break down?
Let me think on that. I'm not a big conspiracy theory guy.
Have you ever studied the Denver airport?
Well, you've talked about it. You claim that there's these people that live underneath the airport that make all the decisions on Earth.
I don't claim. I know.
I've been to the Denver airport many a time.
Open your eyes, man. Appreciate you, buddy. Talk to you all later. We'll be back. We have Murph and Andy today at 1. Overthinking tomorrow at noon. CW Pod, we're recording it today, so that'll be up for you as well. New Bigger Than 12 is already out. Those guys do a great job getting that up on Sunday.
Got All Access coming today.
All Access coming today as well with Maddie Van Winks.
Iowa Event Center.
Iowa Event Center. We'll talk to you guys on Wednesday night here. 2 guys, Chris and Chris, on Iowa Everywhere.